So today, we got more awesome fishing hacks. Probably 4 or 5, whatever we got time for. So let's stop wasting time and let's get into these hacks. Fishing hack number 1. Everybody knows what this is. This is an Alabama rig. And if you just happen to be one of those people that don't know what this is, it's just a rig made of wire that you can put a whole bunch of baits on, and it looks like a school of fish swimming together. Alabama rigs actually work really good for bass and striped bass. There is a lot of YouTube videos showing how you can make your own Alabama rig, but on every video I've seen, they never show you how to make this end, the back end. They always show you how to make the top, but never the back. That's all I'm saying. Also, if you use these in the saltwater, they're also known as umbrella rigs. But today, I'm gonna show y'all how to make one. And by the way, these things can get very, very expensive. I'm just saying. This is stainless steel weld wire. If you're wondering what size it is, right there are the numbers. But you don't have to use stainless steel weld wire. You can just use regular old stainless steel wire. You're also gonna need some needle nose pliers, whichever size you want. Doesn't matter, that's up to you. And you're gonna need some type of pliers to cut your wire with. I got a pack of barrel swivels with interlock snaps. You know what I'm talking about, them little interlock snap thingies on them, you know what I'm talking about. And finally, we're gonna need some JB Weld. This is a steel stick. You can use whatever kind you want. And that's our material, so let's get started. So the first thing we're gonna do is take a piece of our weld wire and our needle nose pliers. You see the tip right there? Grab it by the very tip. And we're just gonna bend it, and we're gonna make a U on the tip of this wire, just like that. We just want a little bit of U on the tip of our wire. Then you got a flat side. You see how that's laying on its flat side? Well, grab it by the flat side, come down about 1/4 of an inch and make another bend in it. And this bend, you only want it like 20 degrees, not very much. After you got your U bent, and then you put your little 20, 25 degree bend in it, you want to come down about 1/2 inch, grab it, and we're going to bend it all the way back around. You'll have something that looks like this. Well, now you can take this part and close it and lock it onto this part. And the results don't look like much, but this thing will not come open, especially if you use weld wire, because weld wire is very, very stiff. In essence, we're making something like this. This is something that you can open and close. And this is something you can open and close. So I ended up making me 4 of these little things, 9 inches long, and one of them's 14 inches long. You need to open them all up and put a swivel on every one of them. But through the magic of YouTube, now we are ready to move on. You see this long one right here? We're gonna have to put a loop on the end of this long one, okay? I'm going with this loop right here. Looks fine to me. Now the next step is to put all these together. And I got all mine together with my little loop on the end, and I put a tiny little tie strap on them. And all this tie strap's for is to hold everything straight for me while I'm working. Now you can use a tie strap, a small piece of tape. You could use another piece of wire to wrap around it. I've even took a big split shot like this. I've stuck it on it and clamped it shut, and that'll hold it together for you, and it'll add some weight to your Alabama rig. But on this DIY, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible, so I just stuck a little tie strap on it. It'll work fine. Next, we're going to take our JB Weld, and this is the kneading kind. In other words, it comes in a little stick. Once you knead this epoxy up, you only got so long to work with it. And as you can see, the inside is black, the outside is gray, and when you knead it together, you can tell when it's mixed good, because the color will be a uniform gray color. So you need to cut you off a little piece, hurry up, knead this together before it starts to harden, and then we're going to put it on here and form it. Now, before we put our JB Weld on here, we want to slide us a swivel onto our loop, because you're not going to be able to get it on afterwards. Once you get it the right color, start packing it around. Just be sure to not cover up your loop. Now, it's only been 5 minutes since I put this head on this thing, and it's already hard as steel. Now, to me, this is fine just like it is. But let's say you're running white baits on this thing. Well, what you could do in order to make this match your bait, take you some kind of spray paint. This is just primer. Just spray this thing. And you can spray this thing any color you wanted to get to match whatever baits you're running on the end. You just hold your lure and you spread out those wires away from each other. Now the center long one is going to stay in the center. And when you're finished, you got you an Alabama rig or an umbrella rig, whatever you want to call it. And this thing will catch fish. And I like these ends because you can take them off and you can change these out. You can use them with a swivel or you can use them without a swivel. Most people use the swim baits or curly tail grubs on an Alabama rig like this. But one of my subscribers sent me an email and he uses spoon handles. You heard me right, spoon handles. Okay, and actually that's not a bad idea. I don't know if y'all seen one of my old videos where I made a lure out of a spoon, but I did, and it actually works pretty dang good. I was thinking, what if you took a spoon and you but if we did do all that, we just made a spoon out of a spoon. Fishing hack number 2. So I've had several videos about planer boards, how to make them, how to use them. I don't even remember how many, at least 4, maybe 5, I don't know. But my favorite so far was the balsa wood planer board, where I used wood instead of foam to make a planer board. Actually, this is a newer planer board than this balsa wood too, so both of these are balsa wood. But the reason I like the balsa wood, it's very hard and very hard to damage. But I've used these planer boards a lot and they're awesome. But as everybody knows, I love innovation. And I like to show subscriber hacks. People that watch my channel, I like to show their ideas. Well, there's a person that watches my channel. His name is Jamie Harris.
I'm Jamie Harris and I've come up with a new planer board and I wanted to share a little bit about it with you today on how it works.
I've talked to Jamie and he actually watched my videos on planer boards because he was designing his own planer board. Dear FishinNstuff, you are the best YouTuber on YouTube. I wish I could be half the creator you are. Seriously though, he did send me a letter. I'm just saying. Keith, thanks for the planer board video. I hope you like my hack. Your pal Jamie. Well, I gotta say, I definitely liked his hack.
This is the first planer board where you can actually switch the arm from one side to the other, which not only allows you to use this board on either side of the boat, but it makes it a whole lot easier for storage, and you don't have to worry about that arm sticking out and being difficult to find a place to put inside your boat. Another neat thing about this planer board is the foam. The foam itself is not a soft foam, it is a high density polyurethane foam, really similar to those that's used in duck decoys. It is strong, it is solid color, and it's got a very, very well flotation. So one thing about this foam, it's a little bit tougher than the others. As you can see, you're not gonna damage it. It's gonna withstand about any type of abuse you put to it. It is actually formed into the blank to where it's formed when the blank is in place. And so it's not glued to the blank. It is made to withstand the use and abuse you striper and catfish fishermen put these things through.
Jamie sent me this board right here when he sent me this letter. This board right here is actually a prototype planer board. This was before he started selling them. And I gotta tell you, this thing is freaking awesome. The pins that hold your line fold in and out. Is that not freaking cool? Like my pins don't fold in. Well, when you're through fishing, you can just fold these things in. That way you're not in any danger of breaking your planer board. The coolest thing about these boards, this is a left side of the boat planer board. So you put it on your left side of the boat and it pulls away from the boat. This also is a left side planer board. The thing is, this will always be a left side planer board unless I take it apart. This is a left side planer board. I can fold it down to protect it, but I can also make it a right side planer board. That's freaking awesome. That is what you call innovation right there. Now, like I said, this is a prototype planer board. Actually, he made this planer board so long ago, he had trouble getting this internet name. So the new website is Alphaboardz.net. So disregard that. Because like I said, this is a prototype planer board. He actually has come out with his real planer boards in a box and everything. And this is what's included in the box. 2 Alphaboardz planer boards. Looks like you get 4 release clips. And there are actually 2 different kinds. That's cool because nobody else does that. And you get your back clips and your front clips that hold on your release clips. So basically this is what you get in the box. And if you're interested in some, Jamie, give me a code to where if you use it at checkout, there's a little box at checkout that you can put this code in. And if you use that code, you'll get 10% off of anything you buy. And that right there is pretty cool. Hack number 3. So last week I went to Academy Sport and I was cruising through the barbecue section because I like the barbecue. But I ran into these buckets. They're actually Oklahoma Joe buckets. And these buckets were made to hold pellets in them for pellet smokers. Well, I don't care about no pellet smoker bucket, but seeing it got me to thinking. It comes with this cage on the inside and a scoop, which by the way, we don't need that scoop. Like I was saying, it comes with a basket inside of it. And the basket is pretty cool. I guess the thinking behind it is you put your pellets in the basket and all the dust and stuff falls off of them. Seem got legs on the bottom, I guess, so the dust can fall to the bottom of the bucket. I don't know. But this would make an awesome bait bucket. And here's how we're going to do it. The first thing you're going to need is a flat piece of steel. This piece of steel is about 3/4 of an inch wide. Not very thick. What this was a bracket. And I took a hammer and just flattened it out. Next, we're going to take our piece of steel and we're going to clamp it into our vice grips. And then we're going to heat this up with some MAP gas. Now, after you get your piece of steel heated up, I'm going to stick it through this bottom level all the way to the inside, and it'll make a little slot for us. See what I'm talking about? It ain't pretty, but it don't matter. Then all you gotta do is take a bubble box. You see that little bracket on the back? Just stick that bracket in there and this thing will hang right on the side of your bucket. By the way, you can add Velcro to your bubble box and onto your bucket if you don't want it moving around much. But either way, it's okay. So the next thing we need to do is make a hole for our air line. And I've looked at this thing and the lip of that wire basket is about right here. So I think the perfect hole for our air line will be right here in the middle on the corner. Because when you look at this bucket, the place that's got the most room in this bucket behind the wire basket is in the corners. So now we just need to drill a hole the same exact diameter as our air line and feed it through there. So next, after you drill your hole, you just feed your line through that hole. And it should be pretty snug. And that'll keep water from splashing back out through it. You can silicone around that hose if you feel like it might leak. But if you get it snug, it'll be good. So basically, when you're finished, you'll have this on the outside and you'll have a bubble stone on the inside, kind of like this. You see where our wire is in the corner? That's how you want it to kind of want to lay. So basically the legs won't set on it. And next, all you gotta do is drop your basket in there. And as you can see, your bubble stone's under your basket. Your line runs up the side, goes through the hole, comes out this side. I think this bucket run like 20 bucks at Academy Sport. $20 for a bucket is kind of expensive, but $20 for a bait bucket is pretty dang cheap. You could put bluegill in here, white perch in here. You could put your minnows or your shiners in here. But the best part is, you know how when you need bait, you always gotta get out that dang net, catch the right one and chase him around in circles. Well, now when you need bait, pick up your basket and you can reach in there, get your bait out, and then set the rest of them back into the bucket and they'll stay alive. I think this thing's gonna be awesome when I go crappie fishing. I'm just saying. Fishing hack number 4. Now, I have a lot of cork handled rods, about every kind of cork handled rod you can think of. I do like cork handles, but I also like the Eva foam handles as well. And this next hack could potentially work on both kinds of handles, but I know for sure that it works good on cork handles. As you can see immediately, this rod is newer than that rod. Wouldn't you think so? Well, it's not. These rods are the same age, and they're actually pretty dang old. These are 75th anniversary ambassadors. That's how old they are. I think I bought them in 2001, and the rods are that old too. The reason this rod looks better than that rod is because I sanded this cork handle. What you really need to do is get you a real fine grit sandpaper. This is about 325 grit sandpaper. Then all you have to do is sand on the handle lightly. Rotate it so you don't sand a flat place into your handle, and just work your way up and down the rod. And as you can see, you can bring your old rod handles back to a new state. I mean, look at that. That is from 2001. This side down here looks brand new. So that's a simple little hack that you can do with cork handles. Number 5. If you've been watching my videos a while, then you know that I like work lights. I like work lights because they have this handle right here. You can stand them up, or you can hang them on a rod holder. I like to take this light and just hang it on my rod holder. Just like that right there, pointing down. Now you notice where that light's shining. So when you're netting a fish out there, you don't have to hold a flashlight or something to see what you're doing. It shines right where you need it to. I like them because they're flat, because you can stick them up in your bimini top. Then in between this metal and the top canvas, we're just gonna slide it in there, and it'll hold it for us. And that way we'll have light inside our boat. That's pretty cool. But if you've been watching my videos a while, you also know that I like innovation. Like the work light I had on another hack video, that's a black work light. I mean, it's the same principle, but it's a black light, and it makes stuff glow, you know what I'm saying? See, black light, white light, black light, white, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, like I was saying, I like innovation. Well, I found something a little bit newer and a little bit more innovative, and I found it at Harbor Freight. It's this Bauer work light. It's flat, tiny. I mean, look how tiny that thing is. It adjusts. It's got a magnet on the bottom. And here's the cool part. See how bright this light is? Well, this Bauer is actually a little bit brighter than this big light in a tiny little package. Look at that. That thing is bright. It's kind of heavy to be so little, but it's got a rechargeable battery, and it's got a battery indicator on the back that lets you know how much battery is left in this thing. It also takes a C-type charger, which most phones have now, but I just wanted to throw it on here because it is cool. It's almost as cool as this black light, I'm just saying. Well, there you have it. Some more fishing hacks that will hopefully help you out. Hey, if you like this video, then you're probably gonna like this video. So you need to go over there and check it out, because this video is over.